What's good with you?
Let's get it. Let's get it. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Velvet Room. Please come in, like, share, get your glass of wine, sit back, drink with us. And before we get started, let me introduce everybody. I have Miss Danielle. Where you at, Miss Danielle? Speak.
Hey.
I have Miss Katisha. Miss Katisha. She probably hear me, but she's here in spirit. All right, and I got Mr. Jimmy Savage.
You already know, baby.
Miss Shenway. And Mr. Eric D. How's everybody weekend?
What's up, lovely people?
Pretty good.
Hey, Felicia. So, what you got to do this weekend? Eric, what you do this weekend?
I
Can y'all hear me okay?
drove all the way to North Carolina from Florida. So I'm here with my family down here in Florida, just enjoying one another. Had to take an 8-hour trip, but I'm here. I'm on the podcast. I took a moment out for you guys.
Thank you, Eric.
Shenway, what you do? What you had going on this weekend?
About spreading the love, baby.
Oh, so I'm on my weight loss journey, everyone. I met with my nutritionist. Today I met with my personal trainer. I'm super excited. Yay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Mr. Jim Savage, what you had going on this weekend, man?
Man, just nothing but work. Editing. That's about it. Talking and editing and working.
Cool.
Keep it
Katisha,
busy, that's about it.
I hear that. Katisha, can you hear us okay? All right, maybe she can't hear us.
She's here in spirit.
Danielle, what you had going on this weekend?
I had a good time with one of my oldest friends in the world at the 85 South Show in Greensboro.
So you're part of like a rock star?
Man, listen, I got a secondhand high because that weed was all over that place. Oh my God!
I guarantee it was. I bet it was.
It was legal in North Carolina. Everybody was smoking.
What is
but
that
me and
show?
Janaea.
So what is that show? I'm sorry, I've never heard of 85 South.
The 85 South Show it's a group of 3 guys who came together from MTV's Wild 'N Out, and they've like created this whole movement. So they're improv comedians.
Oh,
okay, cool.
Nice.
Well, check this out, y'all. We didn't get a chance to introduce our special guest today, Miss Aisha. How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
What's up, girl?
Welcome, Aisha.
Yeah, thank y'all for letting me be on the platform. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody, come on in.
Yeah.
About to get started. And before we do, let's talk about something. Is there anything you guys would like to get off your chest?
Oh yeah.
What pisses you off?
Indeed.
Yes.
Buffering.
Hey,
Buffering pisses me off. You're trying to watch a movie. I was trying to watch BMF, and it took 2 hours to watch BMF, and it's an hour-long show because it kept buffering.
Well, yeah, a lot of patience.
No, I fell asleep on
That's a good show. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Michonne. All right. So, Eric, go ahead, Danielle. What pisses you off?
The amount of mail that comes to my house pisses me off. Very little of it is important, and I'm tired of it. I really wish I could opt out of the mail.
Is it from Amazon?
That's a good one.
It's just mail all the
Is
time.
it boxes of Amazon? Amazon.
Be against the law, really.
It's so much garbage.
You want to ask, how do you even know me? Like, what list did I get on?
Take me off now.
That's a good one.
Now, is there a list though?
Oh yeah, your information is sold all the time and shared. And there's
sure.
options depending on who's, you know, certain companies that you align yourself or connect yourself to, where they openly are transparent. They say they won't share your information, or they give you the option to opt out of it.
Hey, Michelle.
That's what Scam Likely is.
Yeah.
Hey,
They
what
need to
pisses
put
you
a
off?
sticker on the
You know,
on the
every
mail
time
or
you
something.
opt out of something, every time you opt out of something, they're gonna put you in something.
Yep, absolutely. I'm convinced that's what happens.
Yeah.
It happens in my email box too, so it's not just snail mail.
Well, I'll tell you what, I got one. And I might have mentioned it before, but I don't care because it keeps happening. Those daggone auto, the car warranty people.
Yes, you did tell us this already.
Well, they keep calling them, so I'm going to keep mentioning it till they stop calling. Dog. They get you every time. I mean, with these new numbers, they start calling local numbers. They get past the spam part, y'all. They get past, you know, your phone got this thing with spam caller. They get past that. So, I don't know.
They leave you
what kind of
messages
technology.
too, like they're your homie.
I got one. I didn't have one, but I got one now. When you got
Okay,
a
what you
little
got? What
gnat,
pisses you off?
A little gnat, just one little, not a fly, just a little gnat, and you think you got it, and then when you look, and you see the little sucker still going. Your
Hey,
whole
just have some
plant.
patience. It'll die like in 20 seconds.
I see him. He's in my office.
He found a way like,
Try to give your kids.
All right, y'all, let's go to the first thing of the day. Go ahead.
Well,
Aaron, would you better say something?
Or what about this? You can be talking about something to somebody, and next thing you know, you look on your phone, and there's a news feed about what you just was talking about. Now I'm saying, you know, I was talking about that. I literally saw the word. I literally saw a word, and I looked on my phone, and it was an advertisement about that word. That is crazy. So, yo, there's a lot of people watching us and hearing everything.
Say something out loud and then try to Google. Press Google and say, yeah.
That's why
Or
he
Say
stay
something out
on.
loud
He
to your
stay
phone
on.
and press Google.
Or either God or the universe is trying to show you something. That's I'm starting to realize. Pay attention.
God, trying to tell you
Better do
something.
it.
Not on blue,
God
on red.
trying to tell you something. Baby, God is trying to tell you something
Better
right
did
now.
it, Jimmy. You was raised right.
You guys,
Come again.
Oh, that was a jab, huh?
hey, I'll tell you what. Here we go. Let's kick it off.
And now it's time for the news. Hot topics.
My thing just froze. I'm sorry. What's going on, party people? This is your boy Eric, gonna bring you the hot topic news.
What you got? What you got?
Hot topic news. First thing up.
Already.
Yo, Chris Rock. Anybody heard about Chris Rock?
Nope.
Rock. Well, let me talk about Kyrie Irving. You know, Kyrie Irving is, he didn't want to take the vaccination for the NBA. So Chris Rock called him out. You know, Chris Rock was on his stage, and now he said he's calling people out, referring to anti-vaxxers as a dumb Kyrie mother F. So anybody's not taking the vaccine, Chris Rock is referring to them like a dumb Kyrie MF. So, you know, I don't know how people look at that as killing him for saying that, but because he's all about the mask and he's all about supporting, you know, the mask and the vaccination. But to throw Kyrie Irving in it, you know, that's something. You know, should he actually be in that lane?
Wow, that's crazy.
And what's up with your boy Kanye West? You know, he shot the fans by shaving his eyebrows off. Is that the new Kanye West look now?
Well,
That's the
Kanye been crazy
Kardashian
from
way.
day one.
Yay.
He said Kardashian way.
That's what Kardashian did to his ass.
But honestly, he got so much money. Hey, he's a billionaire.
Hey,
What the hell did you say?
he can buy some back.
Yeah, he can buy some back. He get them stitches back on.
He did that. I was gonna say, he did that for this purpose right here, for folks to talk about.
But let me bring some good news to you, though. History has been made here in North Carolina. And that history is a young man, 21 years old, in Kinston, North Carolina, right here where I'm sitting right today, has a city council, Kinston, North Carolina.
The youngest black man.
His name is Chris Suggs.
Yes.
Chris Suggs, the youngest black male in North Carolina to be comfortable with him. Now that's up. And not only that, someone who's been on the city council for many years, he had more votes than that person. Although that person got voted in as got reelected, he still won the overall vote. For a 21-year-old, that says a lot about 21. Not only him, but his parents. Because his mother was in the seat before, but she decided not to run and let her son run, and bam, he became a winner.
Cool.
So
that's really good news, man.
I brought you the news.
All right, so we're finna get into the topic. Define a man, you guys.
Ladies go first.
And what do you require from him, and what is he expected to be?
Well, I would start that a man to me is a leader. Number one, first and foremost, a leader in presence, a leader in behavior, in character. Not that you have to pound the table and exert yourself, but you have that presence about you, and that in and of itself allows me to allow you to lead. So that I would say is the number one definition of a man, a leader.
Cool. Now, Danielle, what do you think that what are your requirements? Like, if you wanted to marry a guy or date a guy, what are some important things you think that he has? This is a done deal. He has to have these things.
He has, like I just said, he definitely has to have a presence of leadership. Mm-hmm. That way I am in a place of comfort and security to completely be who I am with him. Not one that's cool with complacency. Those are two big ones for me. Okay. Leadership, because especially if I as independent and forward focused as I am, I'm relatively traditional in my relationships, so I'm okay with him being the leader of my house, but he has to have that presence and be able to follow through on the requirements of our home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sherry, what you got? Let me ask you the same question. Define a man, and what do you require from him, and what is he expected to be for you?
So, I'm here thinking, just to put it in perspective, if you're going to have anything successful or solid, it needs to have a good foundation, right? And so I want to say that character is going to be important for me. It's what defines the man, right? Because his character is going to help him make his choices, even in who he chooses, which would include me. Someone who has purpose, and not necessarily that they know what their purpose is, but I can see them on the quest to find it. Someone that I would say who understands the importance of provision is very important to me, and also someone who is a protector. That's important to me. And someone who is just their overall identity, what makes them who they are, because that's solid for me as a woman, and understanding what their role is as a man in relationship to me as a woman. So each man is going to define that differently, but it's important to me that he's able to communicate that to me in his actions. I can see that when I'm dealing with this man, it's going to be different from dealing with the average man.
Okay, cool. Aisha, what you have?
I have a hope y'all can hear me. Thank y'all once again for being here. Everyone said good points. The young ladies, y'all did make good points. And I heard the stability, the consistency is what a female is looking for within a man, because everybody was raised differently. So your perspective of a man might be different from my perspective. I just want to note that, because like I said, everyone was raised differently. So whatever you have, the goals, the dreams, your visions, and then you help someone as a helpmate, but they gotta want you to come intervene into their life with the balance.
Eric, define a man. What do you think we require to be? And what are we expected to be?
Okay, I'm buffering a little bit too, but let me know if I'm going in and out. If I was dating myself, I would look in the mirror. Huh?
Here we go.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we
We can, yeah. Come on now, Eric. It was getting good. Go ahead. You dating yourself.
Look at yourself.
A man that I would want to be is someone that takes all his situations, all his pain, and turns it into structure for the betterment of his life, for the future, and whatever spawn he has, whatever woman he wants to take care of. He should always be on his purpose. Always looking to be a leader, and accepting that he might not be one at that time, but he's always going to be a leader. You have to know what type of person you are in order to lead. So basically, you have to stay on yourself. Always take your negatives and make it a positive, and make sure your word is your bond. See what happens when you want to date yourself. His other self is like, I'm not having it.
Well,
that ain't good at all.
We're waiting for Eric. This week, a couple of things have just been coming to me, and I realize when some people call the universe, some people say God. We need to start paying attention. God give us signs, and when things keep popping up, it's trying to tell us something. So this is kind of on me really heavy, and I think that as black men, we really don't know what to be. It's very, very hard, I think, more than what people realize. Now, there's some guys that's locked up. You have drive-by shootings. You have so many different things. You have men that's hitting, women abusing them, etc. And as a black man, I don't think, a black man really know how to be a real man, because we never really had a great example. Because you look at our ancestors going back to slavery, the man was beaten. He was whipped. And then he was hung. And then he came home. I think he passed that same behavior on to his wife. And then his wife passed it down to her kids. And it just kept repeating. I think that nowadays, the men now are paying for what the guys did to the women back then. Because I think the women are more, they really, have their own. And then so it's like, how do a man be a man and feel like a man in a relationship nowadays? Because I feel like at the end of the day, there's so many things that women want us to be that's almost impossible for us to be all of those things. And at the end of the day, I think that I don't think women really know what a real man is at the end of the day. Because while I listen to women talk, and I think y'all get some great points, by the way, but if women did, I don't think that we would have so many mistakes. I think we allow society to dictate to us what a real man is. Now, y'all have things to say so far?
Hell yeah!
I would just say that if men don't know who they are, how are we supposed to know?
Good question, and I got an answer to that. All right. Well, in the beginning, when God created man, He had direct. Our first thing that He gave us was work. And He also gave us dominion over the earth, meaning dominate. That's why I think we come to egos. Men, we all have all these different fighting because we have to dominate. It's part of our nature to dominate. We have to. But it's funny because when you look at Adam and Eve, and everyone heard the story before, but I heard somebody say something one day that was really, really kind of interesting. You know, when Eve ate off the tree, even though we knew it was a sin, he gave Adam direct order. He never talked to her. But you know, when she ate off the tree, nothing happened to her, right? I didn't actually understand this. Nothing happened to her. But when she took her back to the source is when she was cursed. Because she took her back to the person that he gave an assignment to. So when you look at all the problems we're having today, and I'm gonna tell you something, I think that I always say this, that a lot of problems we're having is because of the men. You know, we cause a lot of problems, but at the same time, as black men, I think we're on the verge of being extinct when you really think about it. You know, when you look at the people that's locked up, ones that have been killed, Black Lives Matter, all this stuff's going on with the black men, and then you have other men that don't know who they are. They don't know who they are. And then at the end of the day, you got the good ones, and the women are not looking for what the Bible defines as a man. What are we supposed to do? Who are we supposed to be?
I think you bring up a good point, but I think a couple things. One is the accountability piece. And I think that's what Denise is saying in chat room, be who God say you should be. There's an accountability piece to both yourself and to your family. And I don't think men today really understand the importance of their role. So you want me to humble
what the hell did you
understand
say?
the importance when you yourself don't understand, because even in your lack of knowledge and understanding, you should be in the pursuit of understanding. You should say, okay, this is where I am now. I'm not the man that I want to be, but I'm on a journey to be better. And sometimes I don't see that mirrored in our men. It's I'm gonna just do what I want to do. I'm gonna do who I want to do and who I want to do it with. And go. And I'll pause for a response.
I'm sorry, Shinway, but you know Jimmy and his antics.
What you gotta say?
Natasha.
Is it okay? Y'all can hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
First, I'm gonna start off for us. I'm gonna take all that whatever was just said, and I chew it out. I'm gonna stick with us for a second. Men have the idea. Men know the basis, and men know how to be the man they're supposed to be. But due to how life is, it's hard to learn and take forth what type of man you are supposed to be, and hard to get to your goal because of all these speed bumps in life that we go through that is not even designed for us to be the men that we are supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough to be the type of man that you want to be. But if you have room, if real men who want to be men have the room to want to be a man, they will find a way, and we will always find a way, no matter what we are given. Now, as far as what Shinway was spitting out, that I had to put my mask on, it was getting all on my face. I had to put some disinfectant on that one. I think that's some nonsense right there. We know how to lead. We don't get chances from anybody, especially women. For them to want us to be what we want to be, they give us no room to try to be that. Like, if you don't know what a man is, and don't know what we are thinking, or don't even know the logic of what we are, you can't tell us how to be while we're trying to learn in a system that's fucking us over, and our women fucking us over. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying all of y'all, but I'm saying there's a wide and a huge majority of women that don't give two shits about a man and don't care what they're talking about unless they are satisfied or pleased the way they want to be.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
So
yes.
If you're not going to self-reflect and hold yourself accountable, who is to hold you accountable for?
There's nobody but yourself to hold accountable. And that's all I ever do. That's why I said from the very beginning.
That's all Shinway was saying.
I said
no.
It sounds like you're in contradiction to that. So
no, because it sounded like you were talking about that we were lacking knowledge. You said we were lacking knowledge, right?
I said if you were lacking knowledge, and some are, right? I said it's the importance to be on the pursuit to get that knowledge. Because at the end of the day, I'm raising my two sons by myself. So at the end of the day, as much as I tried, my intentions are good. There's a deficiency within their manhood. And there's things that they're going to have to learn on the way. Hopefully their
Do you know any successful men around you?
So the question
Do you have men with purpose around you?
I would want to believe so. With the relationship,
that's a start to get a man on.
Let finish, Jimmy.
But the relationships are limited, right? So I try to partner them with certain men. I try to take advantage of men that are in my life, absolutely, and put them in the arena of greatness, and hopefully that is contagious and that they can learn from it. So you make a good point, but it's one thing to be exposed to something with limits. It's another thing to be groomed by a man. So I'm not at fault with the man. I just want us to have an honest conversation on how we can be better. So see, the difference between me and you, when you talk, I would never say anything coming out of your mouth is rubbish, because that's the respect I have for you as a man. So that shows, that's the difference between us right there. So I a lot of men and a lot of women, they believe they're at war with the opposite sex. Me personally, I don't. So, for me, it's like when Nas says, we men, good, bad, but it's how he stands. And that's for me what makes a man. How he stands, how he handles his business, how he takes care of his family, how he provides for his family and himself. So,
what about how he tries to?
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I want to impress upon not only us as a panel, but our listeners and anybody who watches this later, is that the generalizations that we make about ourselves is what's killing us. We make these blanket statements about men versus women, and I'm gonna point back out to Shinwei. Shinwei pointed out a lot of women, a lot of men, or for me, this is how it is. We make these blanket statements like all men are going to be the same, all women are going to be the same. Because a woman messed you over, she's going to mess over another. Because a guy messed me over, I'm going to be a pain in the ass to the next man. That's not all of us. So we need to really work on stop generalizing our people, because we add to the destruction of Black people doing that.
Thank you for bringing up that point that I did that, Danielle, because that's intentional. Because what people need to understand, they have a choice. I tell my sons, you have a choice to be the type of man you want to be. If you want to be the best father ever, you decide. If you want to be the best husband ever, you decide. You decide. It's a choice. Because when you get in the character, or when you get in the room with a real man and you get exposed to real masculinity, you humble to it. I'm going to tell you all day, a real woman is going to humble to it, unless she's trying to be the man. And that's another topic, because those type of women do exist. But a real woman is going to humble to it.
I'm going to let Jimmy talk, because Jimmy Garrett was going to say something a few minutes ago. Jimmy, what you got to say?
I agree with somewhat what they're saying, but what y'all don't understand is this: it's easy to be said. So, like, a lot of people don't see how hard it is to be a man in any situation in this world, in this life. So when it's like, yeah, you want to try to say, we got to be strong, we got to be this, when are we able to relax so we can like give most of our strength? This is why you don't see too many men completing their goals or handling their purpose the way it's supposed to be, because of all the trials and tribulations they have to go through for no reason. To be honest, with no reason. It's a war against men from women and the society, like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yes, what are y'all doing to get these other people off that we need to be like men, and we need to stop. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, all that mouthy shit, and all that putting down men, and all that. Like, what are women doing to women to help that stop? Because that's a big. We go to women to relax and be our backbone, our rib. You know what I'm saying? Our Eve. And when we don't have that, we could go out there and deal with society. But when we come home, we have to deal with our woman. We don't get the time to relax and handle life the way it's supposed to be.
So women do, like I say, it's a culture thing. Wherever you raised and how you act and how you was raised, that's what you're gonna portray. But women, like myself, we will check other women with, you know, they said this is not men versus women. We keep going back to that situation, but we can ask you the same question. When are men gonna check other men when they go on these rappers calling women bees and hoes and putting down other Black African American? You have songs dealing with color issues, light skin versus dark skin. I don't want dark women, but nobody's checking them when it comes to that. So they putting this poison out against Black women, but nobody says anything. But Black men want us to check our Black women, which we do, but you know, it's a culture thing that how you was raised and who taught you that nobody is sitting here checking the men when they come out with these rap songs or putting down women and cussing women or beating on women. Nobody is checking them. People laugh at it, but nobody's checking them. So when are men gonna hold other men accountable to their actions?
I think what Aisha, excuse me, is really saying is, yes, I believe all of that is true, but I think a lot of women has accepted the role of being called a bitch. They have accepted the role of being, you know, called, you know, names that are sluggish and things of that nature. Again, we're not talking about all women, but even when you look at reality shows, you know, housewives and all this, yeah, I'm a good bitch and I'm this, I'm that. So I don't think it's all about the man. I think a man has a way of looking at a woman that he sees and calling her for what she, you know, reflects. Not all men, because even, I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just saying sometimes he look at a woman and she carry herself a certain way, he gonna call her whatever she describe herself to be. As for me, I think what is defined of a man is what has God made me to be. Because what may be in a woman's eyes me may not be who God made me to be. I've probably been my best version of a man I can be based on what God has given me, the tools he has given me. But because I'm not your version of a man, but instead God's version, then I'm not meeting the standard. But to God, I am meeting the standard. So I think it's a matter of knowing who you are, staying true to who you are, and not allowing someone to dictate whether or not you're a man or not. Because everybody has different definition of a man. Somebody who's responsible, somebody who's a good lover, somebody who is responsibility, somebody who's a provider, somebody who works hard. Somebody else may have a different definition of a man. That's who I need to really define who I am and not worry about what other people say, because we all going to have different definitions.
Good.
I think we get caught up a lot when we're trying to fit a square into a round hole. We're trying to make relationships work with folks we're not meant to be with, and that's where this frustration tends to come from.
And I think that women need to define their femininity just like men need to define their masculinity. So I side on the men from a standpoint that women sometimes they define their femininity on things that you could buy in a beauty supply store, and that's not authentic femininity. And so we, especially in a society where you now have a man who's able to identify with being a woman because he's put these things on that look like a woman, when what makes me a woman is a God-given. You can't buy or change or create what I have. So I think that true feminine energy and true masculine energy is to be respected. But I also believe if you don't have the eyes for it, even though it exists, you won't see it. So you may have a man disrespect a queen, not because she necessarily disrespected herself, but because he's never been taught how to respect a woman. And on the flip side, you may have a woman who is in a relationship with a man who authentically wants to do better for her, but she doesn't know how to receive him because the only thing she knows how to define a man by is his wallet and his penis. So out of those two, she doesn't know how to receive him.
Right. And let me say this real quick. I left Anthony's comment on the stage on the screen for a reason. And he said if people really read the Bible, the entire Bible, they would stop saying dumb stuff like you need a relationship with God to be a real man. I disagree. Because he is the creator. He created us. And the Bible clearly gave a definition of what a man is. Now here's where we're finna get interested in that. I don't think y'all allow us to be true men. We have to be feminine too. We have to be so many different things, but it's not lining up. What y'all want us to be is not lining up with the Bible. It's not. This is the thing. You remember the song that James Brown wrote, This Is a Man's World?
Yes.
How do y'all feel about that song?
Mm-hmm. I agree with it.
Okay.
This is a man's world.
Right. It has, that's how it started, and that's how it always will be. It is a man's world. But I like what he added, but it will be nothing without a girl. The key to this world is a man. But the key to a man is a woman.
Let me tell you, I want to celebrate Aisha right now, just to piggyback off your point, Anthony, because she said something, and I just was in my back here like, oh girl. She said, come in, won't allow us to come in as a helpmate. And I'm just going to pause right there because a lot of women think men are supposed to be their helpmate. But if you go by word, we were created to be their helpmate. And that's why it's so important for them to choose us. Because we're there to help them. So honestly, what I represent to you, I represent your peace. I represent your peace. When you're trying to figure it out, you can come to me and I give you sensibility. I help you to see the world differently. I help you to feel safe, even though you're my protector. I help you.
I'm loving Shinway right now
because I ground you and I give you something over your face that makes you feel like you got a home.
Well, let me just add something for a minute.
Shinway killing it with the gems, baby.
Let's talk about providing, right? Because we talked about guys taking out women to dinners. Guys, we have to buy women different things. Nowadays, it's like women, if you're not making a certain amount of money, if you're not making what she's making, you're no good. And I'm trying to figure out, what do men really supposed to provide for you? Let's get it.
We go making more generalizations.
Right.
Really? But the Bible said provide, right? But what I'm saying is that I think that what the Bible said provide and what you guys asked for provide is two different things.
So we want to know your opinion.
It never said anything about a lot of different things like flowers. It's provide meaning give you what you need, and that's a lot. That's a lot of stress on the black man to try to figure out. Yeah, it may vary, but as a whole, I'm telling you how we feel. As a whole, we get it for more than one woman. It's like we feel like we have to do a whole lot. We have to be feminine.
Anthony, I'm a cheat. I'm about to cut you off because I know you personally. And you a bi-flower dude. You a bi-flower dude. You know when you buy flowers, when you really like the girl. So what happens? There has to be a desire to want to do those things.
You know why I buy flowers?
You care about.
Because
So,
society told me I have to do that
Is
in order
that
for you to like
really?
me. Yes.
oh, well, then you
Where
tell
you get it from?
Then you
Is
tell
it in the
me.
Bible? Is it in the Bible?
No, it's definitely not.
It's not
No,
in
no,
the
no.
Bible.
I'm gonna tell. No, yes. You know what the
I
Bible
got it from my
says?
mama.
And that goes
What did the
back
Bible
to
say?
what Aisha said about culture. Aisha said about culture. It's a cultural thing. It
It's
goes
a
back
culture
to
thing, but then again, it's a God thing
society
too. But see, that's what I'm saying. We're getting all confused.
But that ain't-
It's a
Okay.
confusion. What is? That's what I'm saying. Because of how we're doing now, what is a man supposed to be? Is he supposed to follow God, or he's supposed to follow y'all? Now, here's the thing. You know, let's say we're going to the club, right? I noticed something. Ladies getting free. They're getting free because the guys they know the guys will show up. But those guys are not kings. Those are men. Kings don't follow that. So, I'm going to ask you guys, when it comes to kings and queens, explain to me what is a king?
Aye.
Do you want me to?
Silence.
Can I?
Because
I'm saying, Jimmy, you
questions are very
Answer the
vague.
question.
I'm a king. That's what I was born one. I heard my name. Yes, I'm a king. I was born one. A king is one who knows his purpose, who knows what it takes to secure the castle and everything in it. He's the one who looks for the higher purpose. I am the
Okay,
king of my castle because I take care of my kids.
I'm going to have to say something here. That's
Go
not a
ahead.
king.
I was gonna
What's
say
a,
that's-
what's a king then?
A king can only be a king unless he's chasing the kingdom.
Chasing the kingdom?
Chasing the kingdom. That's
Kings
where the
don't
word king
chase
comes
anything.
from. God invented the kingdom. What do you mean?
We take what we want. It is what it is.
That's not a man. That's what I'm saying. Okay, if that's what I'm saying, we believe in the Bible, but yet we'll say things that contradict that. The Bible never said. There's nothing to
I
say.
don't
That's
go
a
by the
king.
Bible.
That's the whole right. Okay, so I'm talking about the ones that do, and that's the whole problem because I think that the women are expecting kings, and we're not giving them kings. We're giving them men.
Wait, hold on. You can't say because you believe in the Bible and I don't that's giving them a king because you have to follow the Bible. Like that's what I was saying. If I'm gonna provide for the ones I love, that's showing your kinghood of you. That's your community. You're building
You
a
guys are
community.
demonstrating exactly what I think we're all saying is that
And what's
this
that?
is different from one person to another.
Oh, it is.
And
It is, but it's all the
to
same
have
thing.
It's okay to have these conversations and dialogue so that we can gain a better understanding, so that we can shift and show up differently within the culture and society that we have created.
We're not at war with one another. And that there's a foundation that we each have to build. And I actually agree with Jimmy in the fact that
y'all agree on something?
Right. To the fact that singleness is more important than marriage.
Right.
There's power in singleness. There's a power in getting to know who you are and what you want. And people don't respect that. You know, I heard one of my sisters, she has a podcast and she was talking about isolation and loneliness. And if people are so lonely when they're by themselves, they don't like themselves. How you expect someone to like you when you don't like you?
Yeah.
No, that's
I like being alone. I love myself. I love me. I am in love with me.
I schedule that every week, okay?
There's a power
I
in
schedule
two,
that
though.
every day.
There's a
I
power
love
in
myself.
two. And we came to this. We came.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna feel that. You know what I mean? And it'll make a worse day.
should
At
get
least. Huh?
I said I should go.
I'm
get
just
you.
saying, don't make it
Keep talking
difficult.
about these crazy women. I should go get you.
All right, you guys. You know, we can talk about this forever, but let's do a closing so we get on to the next segment. And we probably have to do a part 2 of this because we can talk about this forever. But let's go ahead and close out. Shinwei, what do you got? What do you believe? What are your last closing words?
Foundation. You know, understanding the foundation of a person and who they are and how they've worked on themselves so that they can bring something healthy to the partnership. And in terms of men, it is important for men to have a sense of identity, for them to define certain terms like provision, purpose.
My bad. My final thought is this. In order for us to get peace within each other and get together and realize who we are, what we're supposed to be together, is for a man to humble himself to get to know a woman, and for a woman to humble themselves to get to know a man.
I would say, God has a purpose for each and every one of us. So I have to stay true to me and not to try to be something that I'm not.
I would like to leave you all with a word, grace, and recognize that you never know where a man or a woman is coming from. You never know what they are battling in their life. If we start from a place of grace, we will start at a better starting point than in the deficit in which we could be starting at.
Very good.
I enjoyed myself, y'all. I enjoyed myself. I think that I got something out of everyone, how they were speaking and stuff. And stability, know yourself, know your purpose, your goals, know your dreams. That's your culture. Whatever you believe in, even if you read the Bible, don't read the Bible, it's what you believe and what you bring to that table, and that balance in the conversation. Have a conversation. Know your worth. Know if you want to be in that relationship. Know people's love language. Know anything about it before you make that commitment. And that's all I have to say. Thank y'all for having me here.
Cool. We're glad to have you. And I just want to say, I should have put this on what pisses you off, but don't you hate when your ear itch and you can't find nothing, and you just find anything that just like, okay.
Yeah, you got to clean that out.
So listen, I just want to say, men, step your games up. Out here in the hip hop industry and all this media and what's going on, that's not what real men are. And challenge yourself, whatever you believe in, is to, we need to do our women right, because they are the most important thing to us.
Sit in for male and female. People just like you and me. The Velvet Letter. The Velvet Letter. The Velvet Letter. Somebody that juicy, hot,
Yo, that used to be my jam back in the day, I swear. What's Daniel, what you got?
This is a real juicy one. This is real juicy. All right, dear Velvet Room. My husband and I decided earlier this year to spice up our sexual experience by having a threesome. It took us a while to find the right person within the parameters that we set early on. In April, we had our first experience with her, in quotations. It was amazing. So we've continued that experience a few times since then. I'm fine with it and am open to things continuing as they are. Unfortunately, my husband has decided and informed me that we have to take it up a notch by joining a swingers community. I'm appalled by the thought and feel like I have no choice. I need some true advice because I believe I may lose my husband of 10 years if I do not go along. Help, signed, distraught wife. Well, first let me say, I'm sure that the husband really just wanted to spice things up in the beginning. However, I believe it's very likely that once he was able to push the envelope that time and you went along with it and enjoyed it, he came up with other ways to push the envelope. I think there are probably other areas in your relationship in which he has pushed the envelope, and I think there are some real important areas in which y'all need to deal with some of these issues outside of the sexual piece, I will add. If you don't want to go any further, I would just say let him know. Once you have considered all the other things that you are willing to do sexually, and just keep it spicy from there.
Yeah. I don't know. I think those situations can be really tricky. I've seen some crazy stuff happen. I've seen where they invited a third person in, and then that man later on gets up with that lady, not even knowing. So I think they just opened up Pandora's box right there. So, hey, whatever suits
Push
your,
the envelope.
yeah.
Be careful with that Pandora's
I'm
box, man. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a hell of a trip.
I'm a little concerned why the her was in quotations, but that's a whole nother topic.
Because Jimmy sounded like he went for the ride.
Hell yeah.
Listen,
That didn't sound like a warning to everybody. Sound like a warning to me.
I'm with.
I believe in you, me, you, me, you, me, you, me, yeah. I believe in you, me, you, me, you, me, you, me, yeah. Let's stay here for a lifetime underneath the moonlight. 'Cause I don't want us to go. No, I don't want us to go. Yeah, you could be my lifeline, you could be my sunshine. In a world so full of pain, can you make it go away? Used to be so sad that love was lost, but now it's here to stay. Yeah, I used to be uncomfortable, but look at me today. Never thought I'd find someone.